Hello everyone. So I find the right button to click here. Welcome to Malts and Meeples. I'm Petter, and today we're going to be diving back into Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. So my goal, fingers crossed, is we'll finish up kind of this Adventure 1 within the 3 parts of Adventures. And that's where I'm going to stop streaming Pathfinder Adventure Card Game, just because once you've seen it to this point, you're going to have a decent idea of how a lot of things work. And it will give you an idea if this is going to be a game for you or not. But with that said, so far my track record has been lose-win, 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 lose. Well, haven't had a loss yet on Scenario C out of Adventure 1, so fingers crossed I won't this time. If I do win, Stars of Ikarios is going to be the next big campaign game that I'm playing to get through a few scenarios of that, kind of show that one off. And then after that, my plan, well, before that happens, there's either going to be another week of Pathfinder Adventure Card Game next week, or if I win, then there's going to be a one-off game. So like on Monday, I did Under Falling Skies, and I'd probably do something like either Black Sonata or Set a Watch, or maybe Final Girl for a stream on next Wednesday, assuming I win. As for the Monday streams coming up here, so I guess to set up the timeline a little bit better for people here too, so I will be off not this next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday and the Monday after that from streaming, because I will be coming back from Gen Con on that Monday and heading out to Gen Con on that Wednesday. So the Monday content leading up to Gen Con is going to be talking about Gen Con type things, such as what I'm doing at Gen Con, and some tips for going to a con will be next Monday. And then the following Monday is going to be going through the Board Game Geek Gen Con preview list. Now, take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, things can change. Games might not be there, but we'll have to see. And we have a drink. Not an old-fashioned today. We have a Negroni. Just sounded more refreshing today, and, well, also I'm out of simple syrup. Not that big a deal. You can substitute a little bit of water and sugar into an old-fashioned, get the same result, but where's the fun in that? Time to change it up. Let's read The Wizard's Estate. I'm distressed to hear that our harmless eccentric wizard was not at all harmless, says Baroness Origena Devi, your patron in the town of Belhaim. You've informed her of the results of your kobold hunting mission. The Bloodvow kobolds allied with the wizard Belthus Hunclay at the urging of what they say was the long-dead dragon Ataparax. Then betrayed the self-same wizard and at the dragon's further urging. In the process, the kobolds destroyed Belhaim's witch tower, the wizard, and several of their own number. You ushered the Bloodvows out of the region, but now have a bigger problem. How exactly did Mr. Hunclay negotiate with a dragon who's been dead for 700 years? The Baroness asks. And what did the dragon want bad enough to kill him for it? We need some answers. The first step is to clear out the wizard's manor. His cousin requests that we catalog his possessions and hold an estate auction. We better get to it. We'll hire you to go into the manor and secure Hunclay's valuables. I'd be careful. If you have any excess confidence, speak to the charred corpse of the kobold that tried to get in the front door last week. Inventory what you find and don't take anything for yourselves, as this is all for the auction. We'll reward you handsomely for your hard work. While you're in there, look for clues to what Hunclay was plotting. If there's a dragon coming to Belheim, I want to know how to beat it before it arrives. Those are the words the town's dragon-slaying namesake, Lady Belheim, would have been proud to hear. You agree to the Baroness's terms. You have solved half a riddle. Unfortunately, now you have a new half of the same riddle to solve. So, you still have a whole riddle to go. Let's get down to the table. A few different rules here. There is no villain of this, so we just have the henchmen that we have to deal with. But there are a few extra rules for this. So we have the henchmen, but at the end of your turn, you roll a d12. On a 1 through 6, you have to face an eldritch encounter. That's what this card tells us which one to use. Here are the encounters here. It doesn't also just say face them once each. So there might be multiple animated objects. The other thing is any boon, so weapon, spell, armor, or item, we put into an auction pile. We get to keep allies we find, which actually I don't. Yes, there are some allies in here. Or blessings that we find and add them to our hand. And there's a toddler still going to bed upstairs. But we don't get to keep the items, the weapons, spells, armor, anything that would be up for the auction. So, let's get going here. We do get rewarded at the end, though. We create a pile of the things that we acquire. When you encounter a monster, you may evade it. That's supposed to go there. Of course, we get something we are not good at acquiring. It doesn't even matter. I would not have played a card to get that, which I totally forgot to put out. Equip my armor. Blessings in the items. No spell. Interesting. So we do not get the Cloak of Invisibility. That goes into a discard. I'm not going to spend. Not at this point. It's interesting. So the clothes things that we have here are not great for Amiri. Generally, these two are better for Seoni. This one, nobody's going to be that great at. On your check against an outsider card, add 1d4. Well, that is not an outsider card. We are looking for disable. Don't have it. We are looking for dexterity. I can get up to a 7. Or a wisdom. We're going to discard to bless with dexterity 3, 7, plus 1. I upgraded that 8. Even, well, I could have blocked the damage, but don't really want to block the damage if I don't have to. When you check against the spell, add a d4. Hey, that could have been useful last time. Instead, we found somebody who's... I suffer a damage to start. Just going to bury it. Put that armor out. Reveal this, so adding a d8. A d12 plus a d8 plus 2 for melee. $14. 14 is enough to beat it. Now, we're in an interesting spot here, because this is what I was a little bit afraid would happen. I have dealt with this. I have a dexterity or stealth check of 6. We're going to discard to bless. So 2d6, shooting for a 6. 2, 6. Alright, that was ridiculously fast for the first one getting closed here. The one that I was most worried about as well. But we've burnt armor and 2 blessings. Oh, that's not bad. I have the sage here, I just realized, to close potentially the library. But before that, we have Seoni's turn. Against an animal or elemental. That is an armor. Constitution, Fortitude. Got it. And displaying it. I'm not going to explore again. I don't think it's going to be worth it to explore too quickly right now. Oh, I got it. That means not displaying it, though. That is auction piled. So put it over there. Because anything we're getting on a non-attack combat check, add +1. Trying to get a spell with wisdom, but +1 to it. 7. I got a spell. Which, of course, goes into that pile. I keep on... It's going to take a little bit to remember that. And, oh, that's actually a really nice spell for Seoni, which we can potentially get back. And so I didn't explain how kind of that auction phase works. At the end of the scenario, so at the end of Wizard's State, we take and count the number of cards in that pile and then draw an equal number of boons of any types. So it actually works out well because right now I don't really need more armor. So I could shuffle stuff back in, be drawing items, weapons. It says any boon, so I could draw blessings, allies, whatever, to see if it's useful to me. On your blessed check, you may re-roll any die showing a 1. Probably not going to be blessed. Don't really need it. We'll re-roll. 4, 5, 6. Add another one to the pile. Not going to explore again. Animal or elemental? Oh, and I've been forgetting. So starting now, I need to remember to roll a d12 at the end of every round. Because we're going to enchant a weapon for d4, d8, so 2d4 and 2d4, 1d8 plus 1. So that is 4, 5, 6, 6. I can get it up to 7, which means I have to get rid of 3 cards. Not great there. I could have discarded a card to cast a spell, but I actually am then going to use Soothing Word, which I decided was going to be... decided healing, I think, was a d6. So Healing Word goes to the bottom of the deck, and I get back 5 cards. Probably d4. I get back 1 card. At random. Ideally one of the blessings, that would be best thing. Or armor. Should have probably just discarded a card to do an attack. With where I was set up, and actually with the, or to cast a spell. How I was set up with the thing that allows me, or helps me to guard or close wild locations, that's not useful this time around because we're in a house. We're in a manor. So I should have discarded that card to cast a spell instead. Remember that for next time. Just making up for that missed one. Alright, Amiri. After your exploration, you may move to a random location. Well, probably going to stay. Because I want to try and close. If it's something I can close. That's a 5. That's a 5. That can go away. There's quite a number of barriers in this. Not going to spend anything here. When you would discard a boon to bless strength or constitution, you may recharge it instead. Oh, it's a book. So intelligence or knowledge, so I have a +1 to my knowledge and rolling a d8 and got garbage. Absolute garbage. Fine with that. Characters cannot suffer scourges, not bad. Oh, forgot. Nothing for Amiri. Nothing for Seoni. Arcane, Divine, or Knowledge Stealth. Alright, well, there's no point to roll because I can't roll anything. Amiri becomes dazed, which means she can only explore once, but it at least says to banish it. Then we roll for Amiri. Amiri is going to deal with good old Homunculus. Which, where did I put that Homunculus? Did that go into here? Yes, it did. Before acting, we're going to go with spell in the top 4. There's indeed a spell. I'm going to go combat here. Oh yeah, there's a +1 1d4, so I'm going to reveal, so I have a d12, a d8, and a d4. That easily takes them down. Slot the homunculus back in. Maybe we'll get something else in the future. If defeated, we are good to go. Seoni. If you would discard a boon for Dex or Charisma, you may recharge it instead. We have incitation, so if this is Dex or Charisma, Strength. Oh no. That's not ideal. So, entangled at that location, which means you couldn't evade or move from it, because that is 100% happening, because that is just a D4. So location is scourged. Until it is closed or defeated, there was, nothing I could do. Like, I could have enhanced my skill to gain 2, blessed myself. Like, it would have required a perfect roll at that point. Not going to happen. Amiri. You may banish a random blessing from your discards to explore. Don't have any. Unlikely to have any. Nor could I because I am dazed anyways. Well, we know the drill. Well, first things first. Like I said, we know the drill. I forgot. So now Amiri has to deal with an elemental. It's immune to fire damage. So we're going to get rid of the troubadour. Sorry, buddy. Get off the angle. Off the angle. That's worse. So we got up to 7, 8, 9. Yeesh. All of that goes in there because I had no way to block the damage. Good, I have my soothing word back. I'll be able to heal slowly. Alright, let's see. So now the combat. Oh my goodness, I am rolling so poorly. Because that's 6, 7, 8 out of 12. So everything is going away. Not great. Oh, vulnerable to bludgeoning. Okay, I have a bludgeoning weapon now, so if I face it again, that's an extra 4 damage for me, which would have been enough last time. Roll that d12. Deal with the homunculus again. Well, same roll as before. 12, 14. Couldn't have gotten that roll last time. Defeated. Spell still. Yep, still a spell at the top. And now, Seoni. You get moving now. If you would suffer a scourge, a random local character suffers instead. Dazed is gone, though. Ooh, it's a kitty cat. Wisdom, Arcane. Arcane is good for us. That's an 11. We're immediately going to discard the kitty to explore again. Wisdom survival of a 6. I have wisdom, no survival. Didn't get it. Giant slug goes away. And then we cast Soothing Word. Get back 3 cards at random. Plus, Soothing Word will go back into the deck. So as long, it's very important actually right now to every time we get Soothing Word, cast it. Because that is getting me cards back in, and there's no way then for damage to take it out. Oh my goodness, the homunculus again. Force Missile, Arcane, and 2d4. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 4 cards here. Spell. Is there a spell in there? Yes, there's a spell in there. Homunculus goes away. Yet again, it is a very pesky homunculi. Alright. Amiri. If you would acquire a boon, you may recharge a card. Wisdom Divine. It's not worth spending to bless, I don't feel like. So definitely don't get it. Roll the d12. 5. Oh, it's something different now. We got a Screaming Lock. So probably something much worse. Before acting, suffer 1 mental damage. I guess get rid of that card. Then, Dex, Arcane, or Disable. So we're doing Dexterity for sure. We're going to bless that Dexterity check. Looking for an 8. Got to a 5. We're dazed again. At least that doesn't get shuffled in. Flipping for Seoni. On your check, you may discard a card to roll 1 die. Reroll 1 die showing a 1 or 2. And we have our Charisma, Diplomacy, or Knowledge. I have Knowledge of 8. Need to have some way to bump that. Strength or Con doesn't help me. So, Knowledge. 6. We discard a card from the Hourglass. get shuffled back in. I'm going to discard that Riding Allosaurus. Of course. Same rule as before. But my goal is I'm trying to get back cards that are going to help me. 10, fine, good. On a stealth check, or a check that invokes poison trait, add a d4. Alright, we have Shay. Immune to cold. Before acting, 2 characters suffer a random force damage. So we're going in with a 13. Oh my goodness. 5, 6, 7. 7. Well, that card's going away. Just getting absolutely pummeled on some attacks we really need to be doing better on. 4. 4 gives us a mysterious relic. Ooh. Probably not something you're great at. Intelligence of a 5. Intelligence is a d6. We have a so moves here and is dazed. Well, I hadn't moved dazed yet, so this is actually not the worst thing, and I'll explain why right now. Because Seoni's turn, wrong pile. Check to close or guard, 1d4. Oh, that'd be great if we can do that this turn. Gonna discard Seoni's Light to heal 4 on a Miri. Miri was getting way down there. Then Seoni explores. Strength melee, of course, or disable. If undefeated. Oh, it's just. Oh, I'm not even going to try. I'm not going to bother rolling because it cannot be defeated. We have the Homunculus. There is a spell still in here, so we're going to go spell and deal with this Homunculus yet again. Casting Force Missile. 8, 11, plus 2, plenty, enough to take it out. That's it we're going to do there, obviously. Oh yeah, and Force Missile goes down to the bottom here. We're getting to a tricky spot with Seoni because of the fact, I mean, it's just so few cards. No matter how you cut it, so few cards. Amiri is stuck here, by the way, because it is entangled. So, on your checks to avenge, bless. Charisma, diplomacy. Don't have diplomacy, don't have knowledge. Do have charisma. I'm going to recharge the crowbar to add 2d. Oh, that's not a. Oh, it's a task. It's a task. Can't do that. Got no shot. Time is ticking down. We're going to explore again. We're going to discard a card to explore. Dex check. Nothing. Okay, that's fine. I'm trying to thin that out. I'm trying to also just set it up so I can potentially start to get more things that I want. Not a 3. It's a 3 again. Okay. D8 plus 1 plus D4. So it's 7, 8. There's a spell in there. 9, 10, 11. Homunculus is defeated yet again. Examine the top location. You may examine the top 2 cards instead. It is a spell. Recharge to add a D4 to get a spell. We have Arcane here. Plus a D4. All good. Two cards. Okay, we're going to do this to explore. Yes, Storybank, perfect. So we have knowledge. We can add a D4 now. 4, 5, 6, 7 needed, and 8. I'd have discarded this to bless. Took it out. Go away. Please. And Charisma's a D12. Looking for a 6. Did not get it. No negatives for that. Pull all these cards out. The big thing is we have Soothing Word back. Now we can heal up again. And hopefully we heal for something like 4. You may avenge by discarding a card. Strength melee. Use the crowbar here. I'm going to recharge it for 2d8 plus a d12 plus 2. That's insanely overkilled. Goes away. Charisma. I got nothing for charisma. A D4 on charisma, so it fails. I do want to check one thing here. Closing time. Closing. Closing location, page 15. Close location. Alright, so it looks like I still have to try. So starting out here, Soothing Words, can heal an additional card, nice. 4, 3, it's good enough, it gives me 4 cards. 4 cards to heal. I wanted to make sure that locations just didn't auto-close. They do not appear to. So we're going to try and close. Charisma. Don't have I do have diplomacy, +2. That's plenty to close that location. Sione moves up there. Amiri, on their turn, is just going to have to move up there. That was for Sione. That was for Amiri. And now we have one location left, and that many cards. Forgot to draw an additional one back up. We have Enhance again. And we do have a cat here to help explore. So Sione, when you encounter a card, you may draw a card. If you do, discard the top card of your deck. Okay, well, it's a spell. We're just gonna straight roll for that. Got it. Then we're going to discard the cat to explore again. Dex, Divine, or Survival. Well, Dex. Didn't get it. That's fine. Don't have anything else to explore with again. We apparently have most of our spells available to us. We have 4 cards, 3 turns, and toddler stomping upstairs. On your check against an undead card, when you would discard a boon to bless, you may recharge it instead. Probably not, well, it is undead. So we're going to recharge that there. For my combat, which I needed that. Well, it's vulnerable to bludgeoning, so it's very dead at that point. I have nothing to explore with, unfortunately. Still nothing to explore with. Ooh, I do have something to explore with. I have a compass. I am no longer dazed. That went away a while ago. Here we go. We have them. So, immune to cold. Before acting, 2 random local characters suffer force damage. So 1 damage there. And 1 damage there. While acting, damage suffered from this monster is cold damage. We are going with our glorious Warhammer for normal handful of dice. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Very well defeated. Now we have an intelligence check. Freely display. We're going to enhance your intelligence. It adds 2 to intelligence. Intelligence is a D6. We are looking for a 6. 4, 5, 6. Location is closed. Final game of Venture 1. We won. No, says Hunclay's mad servant, Methesic. Those are my dead master's things. Now that Hunclay's magical servitors have been cleared out of his mansion, a new force descends upon the manor. A cadre of auction clerks. They immediately start subdividing and re-subdividing the wizard's possessions into various lots. As soon as one lays out a lot of kitchen accessories, another sorts it into 2 lots of cutlery and dishes. Apparently, there is no hair split so fine it cannot be split further. They are quite interested that you discovered a secret cave guarded by a demon zombie. So, that is something that we could have... The cave would have been a location had we been playing with more players. Therein you found Hunclay's spellbook, astrology volumes, and a mind-bending book called The Secrets of the Dreaming Dark. Its mysteries cannot be easily divined. You would have to read the language Draconic in its most ancient script to have a chance of comprehending it. That is exactly the kind of thing you do not want to find in Homunculus Manor. Pop back up here. So, if I were to continue now, I get hero points for each hero, and we look at the auction pile, which we managed to get 5 cards into that, and we could pick 5 different types of cards to divide this into. However, I'm going to stop at this point in time, just kind of pack this up to play again another time. I thought about moving it to the far end, but I suspect I'm going to need a little bit more space when it comes to the Stars of Ikarios. So I don't want to potentially be butting up against this. But with that, we have played through this first adventure in, well, the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game 2nd edition. I have a ton more of this content to go through. 2 more chapters in here. 3 parts each. Plus, I have pirates, mummies, and goblins, basically, adventures from the original one. So there is a lot. There's a lot to look at in here. There's a ton for this game and a ton for the different versions of the game. One of the big things, though, is I do mark the cards. So Seoni and Amiri, they're marked at this point. I can actually, if I wanted to set aside their decks, I could start this with a couple other players, or just keep track of what their decks are and then come back to them later if I wanted to, which is a pretty nice setup. But with that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope this has been fun. I hope this has been informative, so that you know. Yeah, I didn't sleeve the cards. I marked them. It's what the game tells you to do. And yes, marking the sleeves would have been a smarter plan, for sure. I did not think of that. But also, I look at it this way. If I'm playing 2 players at a time, even if I'm playing 4-player game, I still have another 9 characters to play with. So it's not like I'm bumping up against it. If somebody really wants to play Amiri, it's easy enough. Not easy enough, but it is possible to still play it. So it isn't something that concerns me too much. But yeah. 9 characters to play unsleeved. I mean, I can still finish off a game with these 2 characters. So let's see. That'd be 11 characters to play unsleeved. So 5 games the whole way through. I'm fine with that. I probably should have sleeved it just for resale value, but live and learn. Yeah, sleeving it did not even cross my mind. With that, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. Probably should have been slightly longer. Not sure it would have made much of a difference. But that has, like I said, been Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. Hopefully this has been fun to check out and help you know if you're interested in the game. If you're interested in more of my content, I talked about some of the streaming things I have coming up at the beginning, and definitely will be streaming some solo game next Wednesday, since I have finished this now. So I hope to see you then. I hope to see you on Monday. Going to be chatting about Gen Con at that point. But yeah, there's also nerdologist.com, where I put out articles daily, and then the 10-Minute Marvel podcast. If you do enjoy this content, subscribe, click that notification bell so you know when I go live. Generally 8:30 on Mondays, 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, all times Central Time. But with that, tiny sip left. Bottoms up.